VisionAutoworks here with our TL Type S 4-piston brake caliper retrofit kit. Just going to do a quick overview of what's included and fitment applications, what we currently offer. Basically, this is a 4-piston Brembo brake from a TL Type S, the 06 to 08 TL Type S. This is a 4-piston setup. Comes with all the hardware you need, all brand new hardware. So brand new caliper bolts. These aren't some bolts we buy at Home Depot. These are actual genuine caliper bolts. Proper grade, proper strength. You get this stainless shims. These are custom made for us, and the shims are placed behind the rotor. The reason why we use the shim is because we have to offset the amount of machining that we do to the caliper. We've done hundreds of these calipers to date now, and we found that if we try and cut that last little bit, sometimes the machining will punch through the back, and that's obviously something we don't want to send out to a customer. Even though most of the structural rigidity isn't even in that area, just cosmetically it's not good. So you'll see other companies that kind of, copy this method that we do. They have no shims included, but if you have a punch through in your caliper, that's probably why. So we tend to err on the side of caution. I'd rather give you a thin, less than 1 millimeter shim to run, so we can cut a little bit less and not have to worry about that. So again, all brand new hardware, 4 new pad clips, 4 new pad pins, and 4 new caliper bolts with the shims that you'll need. Rotors and pads aren't included in our kit. Reason why we don't include rotors and pads: not everyone needs the same thing. Daily driver guy, just driving on the street, he doesn't need a drilled and slotted rotor. He doesn't need track pads. And then again, someone who's doing that doesn't want your, daily driver pad and daily driver rotor you're throwing in with your kit. So it just makes a lot more sense that we allow you guys to pick the parts that you need for your build. Not everyone's doing the same thing with their car. This kit and what you have to buy to make it a complete kit isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. So we don't offer the rotors and pads. You have to buy those separately. Just make sure you pick the 06 to 08 Acura TL Type S rotors and pads that are Brembo spec, and you're good to go. They don't have to be Brembo branded. You can get many different brands that are the Brembo specification parts. Most commonly, most of our guys run the Stop Tech Street rotor and pad kit. So a lot of places to find those parts. You guys can just buy that stuff from your favorite online retailer or your local auto parts store. The powder coating on the calipers, it's optional. You don't have to get the powder coating. I do recommend it. It makes your purchase worth it. You want to see something pretty when you get it. These are actually powder coated in Bengal red, which is what we use, the color that we use for the closest match to Brembo red. But we do have a lot of other colors in stock. We work with a very professional powder coater, and they have tons of colors in stock. If you have a really specific color that you want, you can browse prismaticpowders.com. There's thousands of colors there. Just when you place an order, just put in the order in the order comments, the product number or the code for the powder coat, and if we don't have it in stock, it's just a $25 fee to get the exact color you want. So the calipers themselves, they are actually modified. This is the reason why our kit is what it costs. We work with a machine shop that does high-end aerospace commercial type stuff, and they cut these calipers for us to our specs that allow us to fit these calipers onto a variety of Honda and Acura 5x1143 vehicles. Now we have a couple one-off kits that are for other vehicles. So if you are a rear-wheel drive chassis or 70.1 hub bore, we have a different shim for you guys. Our caliper cut is slightly different, and the Acura RDX as well will fit these. We have a kit for the Acura RDX first and second gen. We haven't had a customer test fit them on a second gen, so it's not 100% confirmed, but we're about 99.9% sure it'll fit the second gens as well. So yeah, basically the calipers are milled down to correct the offset with the rotor, so that after you bolt everything together, after you mount the calipers, mount the rotors, and use our shim behind the rotor, it should be perfectly centered within the caliper, like it should be. You do want to make sure you observe and figure out if that is proper. So if you buy another kit, not from us, and your rotors aren't centered with the caliper, you're going to have just uneven pad wear. It's not ideal to have that type of situation. We've done so many of these caliper kits. We know our specs and what needs to be done to the caliper to get it to fit right. So it's very unlikely you'll have that issue with our kit. The other thing we do to the caliper, the mounting holes. So we install a time cert in there to reduce the size, because the factory TL bolt doesn't fit through the majority of Honda and Acura vehicles that would, buy this for a retrofit application. So instead of drilling out your knuckles and doing it that way, we actually just modify the caliper. It's a lot easier, and it's 100% reversible in the future if you need to go back to stock, or you end up selling the brakes and you want something else. You haven't modified your knuckles and then run into a headache later on. So everything's done to the caliper itself. It's 100% reversible. You get all brand new hardware. It's ready to bolt onto your car after you get the rotors and pads. Again, just make sure you get the correct rotors. Make sure you get the correct pads. There are some specific situations where people will run a different rotor, and when we receive an order, if you didn't put your car information in there, we immediately contact you and ask you what vehicle you have. So if you are an owner of one of these vehicles, we'll let you know immediately, this is the rotor you need. Don't get the TLS rotors. But for 99% of everyone else that is buying this kit, you're going to just get the TL Type S rotors and follow the instructions on the page. So this is kind of a brief overview of our TLS caliper kit. You can read a lot of information on it, basically what I've covered here, in text form on the website VisionAutoworks.com. You can place your order there. If you do have any other questions about the kit, or if you're trying to fit this on a vehicle that you're not sure about, just reach out to us by email or by phone.